It's a question about the meeting with the Taliban delegation. We know that the delegation arrived in Brussels this morning. Can you please tell us whether the meeting with the EU official has started, is ongoing, or is going to happen later this afternoon? And give us a bit of details of what you expect the meeting to cover and who is taking part exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Go
Umberto. At this stage, I have no updates to share to what I've said here yesterday. We do not share details of technical meetings before they have taken place. This is also the case here. This has also to do with security reasons, and typically we can share information on such technical level meetings when they have taken place. A little bit for context. So, contacts with representatives of the de facto authorities of Afghanistan have been ongoing for a while. A first meeting took place in Afghanistan in January. Following that, the Commission has been preparing for a meeting also here in Brussels. These technical level contacts come in response to an initiative by 20 member states. In a letter, these 20 member states asked the Commission to coordinate technical contacts on returns. The focus of these member states is to return persons who have committed serious crimes or who pose security threats. So this initiative by these 20 member states is what the Commission is following up on. With this, we pursue a comprehensive and a coordinated approach. And something that we have to bear in mind when we speak about returns. So the actual return is member state competence. Member state authorities look at every case individual. They have to do that. This is also EU law, this individual review. And then they decide on a return. It's not the Commission or the EU that decides whether and where a person can be returned to. It's a member state competence. What the Commission can do is to help and coordinate, and this is what we're doing by having these technical level contacts. And as a matter of fact, the meeting that we're looking at in Brussels will also be an opportunity for member states and for member states at technical level to establish contacts, because it will be those member states that will have to carry out returns, and they have to also be in touch themselves. And again, we speak here in the very first place about persons who pose a security threat and about serious criminals that member states want to return.
Thank you. Markus, you have a follow-up? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Just quickly. So you said that you cannot comment before the meeting takes place, so I assume that means that he has not started yet. Could you confirm, though, that is to take place today? Thank you.
Thanks, Umberto, for the follow-up. No, what I can say is that we don't share any details before a meeting has taken place, and that's where we are at this stage.
Once we share the details, you will know that the meeting has taken place. Obviously, go ahead.
See that the Commissioner Brunner is meeting with Antonio Costa across the road at 5 p.m. Is that to tell him some of the details of these technical discussions? And can you be a bit more clear on when a technical discussion stops being a political discussion? So I guess the European side wants to talk about the technicalities of sort of offloading these criminals and security threats onto the Afghans, but the Afghans presumably will want something in return rather than just sorting out the details of airports and flights and tickets and visas, etc. So when they ask for a quid pro quo, as one would assume they would, it presumably is a political discussion. What form is that political discussion likely to take?
Said very clearly, discussions at the technical level. What will follow, if it will follow, that we will need to see once we see what is the outcome of this meeting at technical level, as underscored by Markus. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Amina Smail, I'm a journalist with Reuters. Follow-up also on the Taliban visit. What is the EU actually offering the Taliban in return for cooperation on returns? Are we talking about financial support or steps towards further diplomatic engagement, like reopening embassies or consulates, to simply just handle the documents of returnees?
Thanks very much. No, As I've said, this is a technical level meetings. This is really about the technical level context, to establish context. There is no offer that I could talk about. This is about the technical level context. Huh?
Yes.
Vincenzo Genovese from Euronews. Marcus, you said that the focus is on persons who have committed serious crimes or who pose a security threat. Do you have data on how many irregular Afghans are also serious criminals? Because over 18,000 Afghans were ordered to leave the EU in 2025. I doubt all of them have committed serious crimes. So I would like to know how many people are we talking about? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Vincenzo. Thanks very much. So as I've said, the actual return decision is something that member states do. So it's a member state level decision, and this is also where you have to ask for the figures.
Let me go to my left here, Silvia.
Thank you very much, Silvia Ayuso, the Foreign Based newspaper. I know it's a technical level, but technical level means many things. So what exactly does it mean, technical level? You're only coordinating, no kind of decisions, or, I would like to understand what technical level means. Also, in this technical level meeting from the part of the European Commission, are there any women taking part of it, which is for women? We're talking about Taliban. I think it's a justified question. And what afterwards? What's the role of the countries? Because several countries that signed that letter are saying they're not taking part in this technical level meeting. So when you say that it's a chance for the countries that are interested to take part, to get to know what to expect or whatever, are some countries taking part in these technical level conversations? Thank you.
Thanks very much. So if I understood well, this is three questions. First, on participation of member states at technical level. This is something that you would also have to check with member states. Second, on the delegation, and if there are women participating, we don't give details on technical meetings before they have taken place, and also for the delegation of the counterparts, you would have to ask them. Then the first question was on what is technical level, right? This is really about the technical level, meaning which level also in the hierarchy. So this is officials from the Director General's meeting, as opposed to political level.
So I'll take one more question here because we're starting going round on the subject. David.
Thank you. David Carretta, Radio Radicale. It's a different angle. Some weeks or month ago, I've asked you who is paying for the hotel and flights of this delegation. I think that the question is relevant because some of the Taliban, at least 3 officials of the Interior Minister, are sanctioned are under sanction of the European Union. So have you checked if there are any people in the delegation who are under sanction regime? Second question, under the sanction regime toward the Taliban, in fact, all the organizations and groups linked to the Taliban are under sanctions. How can you explain your technical contact here in Brussels and the fact that those people belong to an organization, even if, let's say, entity, I don't know, public entity, I don't know how to qualify it, and the fact that they are under your sanctions. Thank you.
Because it takes me to an aspect that I forgot to mention. The EU is mandated by the Council to maintain operational engagement with the de facto authorities in Afghanistan. So these are technical level contacts, operational engagement, technical level contacts. And this does not mean recognition. This by any means does not mean recognition. And on this aspect, it will also be useful maybe to have Anwar on the podium, who can explain a little bit more on the diplomatic aspects. But maybe there are other aspects that come before. I don't know, Paula.
Thank you. And last question on this topic. Go ahead.
Nikolai Nielsen, EU Observer. You mentioned this is only about Afghans who have committed crimes, but Johannes Luckner, I think in January, sort of suggested that it could also extend to, and I quote, non-criminal Afghans with a return order. Is there any possibilities this could be expanded to people who have not committed any crimes? Thanks.
Thanks very much. So again, it's very important to underline that any decision, any individual decision taken by member states on a return is something that needs to be done by member state authorities. Now, member states have written a letter to us asking to help coordinate and establish technical level contacts to return, in particular, serious criminals and persons who pose a security risk. So this is what we're working on.
And I'll leave it at this. As said, when the meeting takes place, and to the extent that we can share information on the outcome, we will be doing so, and that should also shed further light on the topic. Other questions to Marcus? Yeah.
Hi, Marcus. It's a question on rule of law and related to Hungary. Can you tell me if it's according to European law and European standards, if a member state wants to set a mandatory age limit or pension age for judges of the Constitutional Court? Because this is one part of the proposal of the new Hungarian government, and this will set the scene to remove 4 Constitutional Court judges. And I'm asking this because I remember well the debates that we had around Poland when judges of the Supreme Court were said to be removed by a similar method. At that time, they set an age limit of 65. Then, right now in Hungary, the possible age limit for Constitutional Court judges is set to be the age of 70. Thank you.
We are aware of the constitutional amendments proposed yesterday, which we understand are now subject to a public consultation. We are also aware that the draft law to establish an asset protection and recovery office has been proposed. These are early drafts, and at this stage we have no comment to offer.
Thank you, Marcus. Other questions to Marcus? No. Other topics that you'd like to raise today? Edini.
Hi, Paula. It's for Balázs, I believe. As regards to the European arrest warrant for former Commissioner Dimitris Avramopoulos, I understand that you have not yet received a request to lift his immunity. However, he also claimed to Cyprus News Agency that he dismissed a call from the Belgian authorities to testify a bit more than 6 months ago, as he's a member of the Greek Parliament and as an ex-commissioner, he was expecting the European Commission to represent him in such judicial procedures in Belgium. In that case, can this actually happen? And if yes, have you received such a request from him? And how does this apply to ex-members of the college, and what are they entitled to? Thank you very much.
Okay, quite a few questions there. So first of all, let me just say that we've seen the media reports on the matter, but of course, given that this is an ongoing criminal proceeding pursued by the Belgian authorities, we don't have any particular comment to offer. Now, we have not received any request indeed on our side to lift the immunity of the former commissioner, nor have we received any request from him, to my knowledge, as regards a potential act of legal assistance in this context. So maybe as a general reminder, I would just recall that here at that time we had approved what we call a post-mandate activity for the commissioner. So as you know, in the 2 years that follow the departure of members of the college, they are under an obligation to seek an authorization from us as regards post-mandate activities. And we consulted, as usual, the independent ethical committee. They looked at the matter. They shared their views, publicly available, by the way. On that basis, the college had a reflection on the matter and took a decision collectively as a college, which authorized the activity concerned.
And the activities concerned is one issue, and the authorization of the activity is one issue, and alleged misconduct is a different type of question. Other questions to Balázs? Nope. We can then... Maria, is it still for Balázs?
Yes, Paula, I'm here. Maria Zaragoza, FC Newspaper, Greece. A follow-up, actually, on Irene's question. First of all, will there be any investigation into Qatargate within the Commission, or this case is closed for the Commission forever? First question. And the second, do you consider that this arrest warrant against the former Commissioner who had authorization to participate in this NGO is a blow to the Commission's credibility or not? Thank you.
Okay, so when you look at the code of conduct, now, of course, when members of the college leave the Commission, they have the right to potentially look at professional activities. However, as I said, they are required in the first 2 years to check with the Commission whether the envisaged activity is in line with Article 245 of the treaty. That's an obligation that we have. As a matter of general practice, we always have to check that. And that's what we did in this particular case as well, upon consulting the independent ethical committee that made its views available publicly. The college took a decision here, importantly, with a number of caveats, with a number of, let's say, conditions attached. Again, this college decision is also available publicly. You can see the conditions that the former commissioner had to abide by, in particular in the course of this two-year period. If you remember, back in 2022, we also looked into the matter, specifically checking if there were potentially any indications of breach of the respective conditions. We also reached out to him at that point, seeking clarifications. We briefed you on our position at that time. And at that moment, back in 2022, when we looked at the matter, we had no indication of any breach of the conditions that were included in the respective college decision.
Thank you very much. Okay. If no other questions to Balázs, we can change topic. Yes, Jorge.
Hello, Paula. As I'm sure you know, today marks 10 years since the citizens of the United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union. It was an extremely difficult moment for you because it was the first time that a member state chose to leave the Union. When you look back at these 10 years, would you say the European Union is stronger or weaker because of Brexit? We remember that the United Kingdom used to pose deeper political integration. So would you say that Brexit allowed you to do things that you could not have otherwise achieved? Thank you.
Jorge, it was never the EU asking the UK to leave the EU, right? So it's really not for us to judge what impact it had. And I think it's a very legitimate question to address to the UK. We were very happy with having the UK among us, and it was never our wish that the UK left. So that's all I would say on your question. Other topics? Jan.
Gianvo Picelli, Bloomberg News. I have a question. I mean, I don't know how much you can say, but there was this lavish dinner, I don't know why it was lavish, this dinner yesterday among some CEOs, between some CEOs, tech CEOs and the President. I wondered whether there's any indication you can give us of what was discussed and whether there's any next step that will follow this engagement.
Let me say a few words on that before giving the floor to Thomas. The discussion, it was a good discussion, and it was a discussion with AI tech leaders, and the subject was about how can we strengthen Europe's position in the AI value chain. That's been at the core of a number of discussions. It's really about our ambition to make Europe the continent of AI first, and we recognize that we need to start that work at home. That's also very much the essence of the tech sovereignty package that we presented to you a few weeks ago. And now we are looking at one very particular question, which is how can we apply AI in the industrial processes? Because, of course, when we speak of AI, we can think of many different aspects. This focus of, and yesterday also at the core of the discussion, is how can we apply AI to the industrial processes, and how can we create an environment which is conducive to make the best of AI across various sectors, from health to transport. That's where the discussion yesterday came into play, and we know a lot can be done, has to be done by us. We take it as our homework as policymakers, but we cannot do it without those who are active on the field. That's where the industry comes into play. At the same time, we also know that we need to collaborate with our trusted partners in developing the AI technology and in also applying it. And that's where also the discussions last week in the context of G7 come in, which is really about how can we cooperate with our partners on the application of AI, and taking the US as an example, where we represent together around 70% of the global market when it comes to AI. On this basis, Thomas, anything to add?
No. The basis said it all. She said it all. Nothing to add.
Jan, try a follow-up.
Yeah, it was very exhaustive. Thank you very much. Since you kind of opened your flank to that, can I ask Thomas whether there's any further meeting scheduled with trusted partner company Anthropic regarding the access to the Mythos model?
No new meeting scheduled. As far as I'm aware, the last meeting that took place was that meeting in San Francisco, where we have had a good operational engagement with the company on Mythos, frontier AI models more generally speaking, highlighting the importance, as just mentioned by Paula, to collaborate, of course, with trusted partners, not in isolation when it comes to risks. So that's where we are, and no new meetings scheduled for now.
Other questions to Thomas? Yes, please.
Yes, Alice Tidy for Euractiv. Given the political situation in the UK and the fact that the EU-UK summit was postponed, I was hoping you could perhaps give us a state of play of the talks about the EU's access to SAFE or to the Ukraine support loans. So if you have any information on how many rounds of talks were held and where we are at, and whether this political situation in the UK will impact those talks. Thank you.
Thanks, Alice. So we had talks with the UK for a possibility for the UK to fully join and fully be associated to our safe defence instrument. Both teams and negotiators have engaged, obviously, in good faith. We could not reach an agreement, but let's not forget that SAFE is open by design. All third countries can participate up to 35%. That's where we are at. Now, are talks still taking place? I mean, we're in the implementation phase by now of our SAFE instrument, with the first disbursements already being made. So I'm not aware of any talks currently taking place with the UK on SAFE specifically.
Good. Thank you. Other questions I see online? Clara Gantley.
Yes, hi, thank you, Paula. I want to go back to the dinner question. I was wondering if it was also talked about the Made in Europe clauses or the European preference that were presented in recent proposals, such as the tax sovereignty package. And I wanted to know if broadly the CEOs, did they welcome these clauses or did they oppose it? And then I wanted to ask, why did you invite specifically these 7 companies and not others? Thanks.
Thanks. On the European preference, let's be a bit careful. I think the tech sector is slightly different from other sectors when we speak about European preference. I mean, look, for example, at advanced chips. We don't produce them currently in Europe, so it's hard to get a European preference if you don't produce them at home. So here it's about securing supply chains, making sure that Europe remains competitive with trusted partners. So here we're really speaking about leveraging European solutions, making Europe more independent before speaking about European preference. And this is precisely where we have the tech sovereignty package that is coming in the cloud sector, in the AI sector, in the chip sector and semiconductors, precisely to boost and to have European alternatives. On the selection of the companies, I will get back to you bilaterally.
Other questions to Thomas? No. Different topics. Yes.
Tatiana Vysotska, European Pravda, Ukraine. My question is on Ukraine Recovery Conference in Poland. Ukrainian government declared that President Zelensky will not participate in the conference. Ukraine will be represented by Prime Minister. And my question is President von der Leyen still going because the level of the conference is lowering? And if she is going, maybe is she considering the Commission to be like the mediator in the conflict, diplomatic role, I would say, between Ukraine and Poland and between presidents of Poland and Ukraine? Maybe Ursula von der Leyen is considering to talk to Volodymyr Zelensky by phone and to talk to Nawrocki in Poland when she will be visiting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. To my knowledge, President von der Leyen is still attending the conference, the Ukraine Recovery Conference in Gdansk this week. It is an important signal of our support to Ukraine. And we've known, and if there's something we have learned over the past 5 years, facing this unprovoked war in Ukraine, is that unity is our strongest tool. And anything that undermines that unity, including disputes, in this case between a member state and Ukraine, is not helpful. So obviously we stand ready to make all necessary to make sure that this does not stand on the way. We are confident that this will not stand on the way also of a good conference in Gdansk later this week. It is an important signal, not just by the leaders who will be attending, but it's also an important signal to potential investors who do see the opportunity of a Ukraine in peace, which can be a good place to invest, to develop, and that's precisely the message we want to convey with our participation in this conference. Other questions? Let me go back to somebody who hasn't had the floor yet today. Yes, Valeria.
follow-up, Valeria Pashko, public broadcaster of Ukraine. You say that it's not helpful to have these tensions between Poland and Ukraine, but could you please specify what kind of impact do you foresee of this kind of tensions, maybe impact on enlargement or on, on military support, on anything else in terms of Poland?
It's very clear, Valeria. There's only one happy observer in this type of situations, and that's the aggressor in Ukraine. And so we shouldn't be playing into their hands. Yes, please.
You said it wasn't helpful and it was playing into Putin's hands. So how do you resolve this debate? Are you saying that the Ukraine should withdraw the naming of those military units, or are you saying that Poland should just be quiet about history?
We have confidence in the ongoing discussions that are taking place between Poland and Ukraine, and we are confident that indeed this will be solved. Just learned that Ukraine will be represented, and so we'll make what we can to contribute to a successful conference later this week. Other questions? Oui. Vital.
Vitaly Sizov, Freedom TV channel. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky, in an interview to Ukrainian channel, he revealed some details of negotiation which took place last week here. According to Zelensky, he will approve the negotiator from EU for peace negotiation. Like he said that EU work on format of this negotiation, and EU propose EU, like EU and EU countries, they propose several people who could be negotiator, and Zelensky will approve from the side of Ukraine. Do you know something about this negotiation and about this plan, about format, about candidates? Thank you.
Thank you, Vitaly. As you know, there have been comprehensive talks at the European Council just last week where Europe's role and the fact that Europe's interests need to be represented was precisely discussed. We maintain our position, which is that nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine should be discussed in negotiations, and the same goes also for Europe. As per European Council's conclusions, Europe has a key role to play in a future settlement and stands ready to defend its interest. And what we have seen right now is that Russia is failing to achieve its military goals, so it is intensifying all the attacks on infrastructure and innocent civilians. And precisely this is why Russia will get more and more sanctions. This is what is happening now, and Ukraine will get more and more support. And what we have seen, this is with great success on the ground, because the tide is turning when it comes to Ukraine gaining ground.
Thank you. Other foreign affairs questions to Anita? Let me go online. Mose, is this for Anita?
Yes, thank you, Paula. It could be. I would like to go back to the Middle East. We talked about that yesterday. And as you know, two high-ranking EU officials visited the region, Commissioner Šuica visited Israel, and Israel-Kallas went to Amman for a meeting with the countries of the Arab League and their foreign ministers. So my first question is, can you confirm, that their messages of positions were synchronized and coordinated before they left for those missions? One issue is that, the need for regional cooperation between the countries in the region, especially Israel and Jordan, I think. We talked about that before. So I would like to ask if you know whether any of them, especially Commissioner Šuica, who is, as you know, also responsible for the Pact for the Mediterranean, if she or Kallas raised the issue of EU support to coordination of water and energy projects between Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinian Authority. sanctions.
Several questions there. It will not be for Anita, but we'll get back to you. Just let me make sure there are no further questions for Anita. Actually, there are. Valeria?
Yeah, it's a follow-up on talks with Russia. Today, actually, Putin's assistant Ushakov said that Russia was ready to have a dialogue with the European Union. Could you please react to that? And also, is it time to select the EU envoy for these talks if Russia is ready? Because there are a lot of statements on the EU side that Russia is not ready. Russia doesn't want to have the serious talks with the EU and with Ukraine. So what's your new reaction to these new statements? Thanks.
Thank you, Valeria. As always, when it comes to Russia, talk is very cheap, and Russia doesn't show any sign of genuine interest in engaging in peace negotiations, and precisely this is what we're trying to achieve with our sanctions, and we're achieving it. As we can see, Russia's economy is taking a hit. Russia is losing on the battlefield. So until we see no signs from Russia to engage, we will also not stop. Good. Thank you. Anita, other questions to Anita? No? Then I would ask Guillaume to join me to address the question from Mose, which is basically concerning the visit of Commissioner Šuica to Israel and Palestine. Guillaume.
Good afternoon. So I'm happy to provide an update on the mission that is currently ongoing. Already yesterday, Marcus provided you with the main objectives, but let me reiterate a few elements here. So Commissioner Šuica is on the region today. Yesterday, as you know, she met with the Foreign Affairs Minister of Israel, and this morning she met with the President of Israel to discuss bilateral relations, the situation in Gaza, early recovery plans, in line with EU support to the Gaza peace plan, and implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 2803. So this morning also she visited the Augusta Victoria Hospital in East Jerusalem, which is one of the hospitals that is benefiting from EU support. She also met with a group of Palestinian and Israeli civil society representatives, UN partners, and religious representatives. As Marcus said also yesterday, there are two legs of the trip. She's also today meeting with authorities on the Palestinian side. So she's meeting with the Palestinian Vice President Hussein al-Sheikh and also with the Prime Minister Mohammad Mustafa, precisely to discuss the EU support to the Palestinian Authority, also our support for the implementation of the reforms, early recovery, and the situation in the West Bank. Very important to explain, this visit has been long planned. So it's a long planned diplomatic mission that has been in the pipeline for some time. It was done in full coordination with the EAS. Let me stress actually that the delegation accompanying the Commissioner also includes Christophe Bigot, who is the EU Special Representative for the Middle East peace process. So Commissioner Šuica is very grateful for the support and the work of the ES, and it is in this context that she's engaging also with all the stakeholders in the region.
Thank you, Guillaume. Then there was a question also on HRVP's visit to Jordan, but let me first see that whether we still have any questions to Guillaume. Yes, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you, Guillaume. You said as soon as it was said yesterday, it was a long-planned visit, but this visit started in between the planning and the start of the visit. We had the Foreign Affairs Minister of Israel saying that the cutting relationship or the talks with High Representative Qatargate. Was this, and he yesterday also used the platform, a statement without questions from the press in Israel to state that they don't accept the political positions from the European Union regarding Israeli politics. So was it in hindsight maybe a good idea or not a good idea? Was it at some point discussed to abort this mission because of the decision of Israel of cutting talks with the main representative of the main diplomat in the European Union at this point?
Thank you. As we said yesterday, I think it's very important to mention here again. This mission is really important in the context that we want to have a frank and open dialogue with both sides, with Israelis and the Palestinian partners. So yesterday and today, really, the Commissioner took the opportunity and reaffirmed the EU's position when it comes to the situation in the region. She mentioned the position when it comes to support to Israel's security. At the same time, the Commissioner also shared her deep concerns when it comes to the worsening situation regarding the illegal settlement in the West Bank. She also stressed the imperative to ensure civilian safety and the fact that aid is provided to all civilians impacted in the conflict. We said several times that we call for humanitarian aid to reach the Palestinians in need at a bigger scale. Also, we should have the condition and access for early economic recovery. This is also in this context that the Commissioner was engaging with the counterparts to see how the EU can support this work in the future, together with regional and international partners. And last but not least, I think it's very important also to mention our support to the Palestinian Authority. We have put in place an EU reform matrix, which is based on the reform agenda that the PA has for itself, because we believe that it's really important to have a viable Palestinian state for the two-state solution in the future. And it is very important for us to see how this work is moving forward. We have the Palestinian Donor Group, which already took place some months ago, and there will be another meeting taking place in July, actually, to take stock of the reforms of the Palestinian Authority. So this is all in this context that it was really important for us to engage with all the stakeholders on the ground.
Silvia, a follow-up.
Yeah, sorry, I understand it. It's just, was there any debate inside the Commission that given this very strong statement, we remember also with Josep Borrell, the Israelis said, we're not talking to him, we're waiting for the next one. The next one now, they're not talking to the next one, which is Qatargate. So it clearly is a position or a strategy from the Israeli government. And was there any debate inside the Commission? Is it a good idea to send somebody else so they think they can cut ties with the main representative of the European Commission and the Council on this subject?
Thank you, Silvia. As said, the meeting and the mission by Commissioner Šuica had been planned before the most recent developments, also over the weekend. And the developments over the weekend provided precisely the opportunity to engage in a frank, open and respectful conversation with the concerned authorities, as Guillaume has set out. David.
Thank you. Let's try the other way around. Did Commissioner Šuica raise the issue of the decision by Minister Saar to cut, to sever all the contact with the High Representative, which, by the way, is also Vice President of the Commission, during yesterday's meeting? And the second question, if I may, has Commissioner Šuica informed the Minister of the intention of the Commission to present option on possible trade measure toward products from illegal settlements? Since Commissioner Šuica announced it during the Foreign Affairs Council 1 week ago. Thank you.
course, we do not enter into the details of everything that has been discussed in the meeting between the Commissioner Šuica and her counterparts, and it's part of the nature of this type of discussions. On the second question, I don't know if Guillaume has more information.
On the second question, no, I do not have. I mean, the readout of the meeting that I provided, which is explaining a position on both sides, deep concerns and so support. On the other hand, I expressed, exactly what we discussed in the meeting. That's all I can offer.
David, yes.
Thank you for the opportunity, Paola. I think that the decision by a foreign minister to sever the contact, the relationship with the High Representative and Vice President of the Commission is not everything. It's quite important. And yesterday in the press conference, Minister Saar said explicitly that I believe in dialogue, but dialogue cannot just be one side dictating its political position to the other side. And you are, or well, the EU or the High Representative, I don't know, is the one side, according to Minister Saar. So it's not just a technical issue, it's a political one. Is the Commission defending its Vice President and High Representative after the decision of the Israeli Foreign Minister? Thank you.
The Commission stands by all the members of its college, obviously. As said, we will not go into the details of the discussion on this particular issue. We did hear, as you did, the comments, and we will not further comment here the comments of the Israeli minister. Other questions to Guillaume? No, then just checking if there are other topics to be raised today. I see Suniva.
Thanks. My question's for Olof. It's on the Council conclusions from last week that take note of the Commission's intention to present options before July 13 in light of the deteriorating situation in legal Israeli settlements. Could you confirm that you will be putting forward proposals, and could you also specify whether these options will be trade options? Thank you.
Suniva, hi, many thanks for your question. So, let me remind you of the sequence of events as they relate to EU trade with Israel. First of all, last September, the Commission made a proposal to suspend the trade preferences under the EU-Israel Association Agreement. This proposal has since then been with the Council for adoption by qualified majority. At last week's Foreign Affairs Council, which has been referenced already today, a discussion took place on EU-Israel trade, including a discussion on exports originating in the occupied Palestinian territory, the settlements. When we were asked about this last week, we reminded you about the proposal already on the table that I have just mentioned. And we said we would not speculate at that stage on any other potential measures, particularly given that a Middle East discussion was on the European Council agenda. That discussion took place, and in the European Council conclusions, the outcome was as follows, and I quote, "The European Council takes note of the Commission's intention to present options before the Council meeting taking place on the 13th of July in light of a further deteriorating situation regarding the illegal settlements." And as was very clearly explained yesterday, we will not at this stage speculate about the content of those options.
Thank you, Olaf, for those clarifications. Other questions? No, then Noir still owes a reply to a question, to the prior question on the visit of the HRVP to Jordan, and that will be our last question for the day.
Thank you, Paola. Indeed, yes, I think it's on. Mose, in terms of your question following the visit of the High Representative, indeed, she has been in the region, in Amman in particular, for talks with Arab partners and League of Arab States counterpart. This is very and highly relevant, not only in terms of time, right after the Foreign Affairs Council and the European Council, where the High Rep can debrief our partners on the EU position on the situation on the Middle East, but also highly relevant in terms of the place, as regional engagement is exactly needed with our Arab partners at this exact point in time. Jordan, as a pillar of stability, offered basically this platform for so many different discussions that the High Rep had with different interlocutors of hers, starting with the Jordanian Foreign Minister Safadi, with whom the High Rep discussed basically the state of play in terms of the US-Iran peace talks and in terms of also how we can turn that into a more lasting peace. With her counterpart from Lebanon, Foreign Minister Youssef Raji, the High Representative reviewed the EU support for the Lebanese armed forces. As you know, that we also came forward with 100 million support in terms of the European Peace Facility to support the Lebanese armed forces and to also review the work from the EU side in terms of establishing a new EU mission in the country. And since all the issues are multifaceted today in the Middle East, the High Rep also discussed with Djibouti's Foreign Minister maritime security and the importance of freedom of navigation. As you all know, that our SPDES mission having a vital role in terms of protecting shipping in the region. And last but not least, also with the Syrian counterpart, the Foreign Minister Shaibani, the High Representative, exchanged views on regional security together with the country's path towards an inclusive political transition, including the latest that has been discussed from both sides, both the EU and Syria, at the last high-level political dialogue. So just to give you a bit of an overview in terms of the multifaceted added value that the visit of the High Rep brought on the ground with our partners, given the multifaceted challenges that we have to face in the region.
Thank you, Anwar, for sharing the context of the visit of the HRVP. And final question there.
Thank you, Umberto Bacchi again from AFP, and apologies I missed the train earlier on UK questions. Just on the UK summit again, can you tell, is it officially postponed now? Do we have an idea of when it could be held? And finally, the British government said they're disappointed at the postponement. Can you respond to that and explain why you thought it was necessary? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I can confirm, as it was also said yesterday by President Costa, that the summit with the UK is postponed. Postponed is not cancelled. So it means as soon as the possibilities are there, we will, of course, look into another date. We have discussed this with also our UK counterparts, and the understanding is we all agree that at this point in time we should best postpone the summit. This being said, the discussions between our respective teams will continue on the various topics on the agenda, and which will eventually and hopefully lead to a positive outcome whenever we hold the next summit.